back to episode 5. Australian
We are.
Open's looking very tasty.
That's it.
We've had a few upsets. We've had some typical matches. We've had Djokovic going through, Federer going through, Nadal going through. A few ones we wasn't really expecting.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, it's been a great tournament so far. And we're just heading into the quarterfinals.
So let's get on with the review of the past couple of rounds. I don't know if you were watching over the last couple of days.
Mate,
Saw some
I've been watching them all.
So
I've been watching it all.
big news. Even slipped under my radar. Serena Williams.
Out.
She's gone out.
Out.
What happened?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. She won a set. Did she win the first set? Or was it the other way around? I forget now. But yeah, Wang on her day. She's a really good player, really good on hard. Good, but I'll be honest, this is a massive shot. Like, I thought Serena would have wiped the floor with her.
Well, she became favourite, didn't she? And then now she's out.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, she was the favourite to win it. She's won it. She's won the Australian Open so many times. I really did think she would do a bit better, but clearly she's not at her maximum, right? Like she's kind of peaked. She's had her peak. Is this now the sort of?
Well, she's 38.
She's 38. Is this now the sort of where we start seeing like the new, more up and coming players coming through? It's like a big step where Serena's now going to step out the way.
I think so.
And we're going to see the likes of the Andreescu's, Osakas. Are they going to start to dominate? Ashley Barty.
Yeah, your favourite. I think that, Ashley Barty will dominate unless Andreescu's in the picture. And then...
What, you really just put it down to them two?
I think that they're...
Corey Goff?
Nah, not yet. I think she's got...
Whoa,
I think
bold.
she's going to be there. She's like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
She's her best years are to come, but the fact she's already... Well, another big headline, she knocks out Osaka. Well, now she's on the scene. Now she's on the map.
Yeah, while we're talking about one upset, let's talk about another one. Osaka.
Yeah.
She's been on an amazing run on hard. She's been winning dropping only the odd set here and there. She's been winning everything. Playing really good tennis.
I watched it and I just thought, wow, she has days when she doesn't really turn up, Osaka. This might have just been one of those, but Corey Goff played just super tennis.
She was just so resilient. Like, I was watching the game as well, and what I noticed, which was quite striking, was the fact that her defensive play was incredible, and she got every ball back so deep.
Well, that's it.
For someone of that, she's not got much experience. She's a young girl. To be able to do that on such a big stage, like it's a Grand Slam, and she's able to get it like to the baseline at most shots, like just really making it difficult and putting every time Osaka was serving, putting the ball back in her court, making her have to make a mistake.
That's it.
And it wasn't just that; she actually had a few really good winners as well down the line. And I was super impressed. Like, I thought people were just jumping on the hype train a bit with this Corey Goff, but she does look like the real deal. She could become a real future champ.
We're used to seeing Osaka come back from 7-5 down or 6-5 down in the final set and then just go on a tear, but she wasn't able to.
I think we thought it was going to be one of them
moments.
I
thought so.
When we saw her take the first set, Goff take the first set.
Well, here we go again.
I was thinking, all right, we know what's going to happen now. It's going to be about 4-love in about 10 minutes.
That's it.
The second set, Osaka's just going to go nuts and just blitz her. But it just never happened. She just stood so resilient. And it was done didn't even go to 3 sets. She got it done in 2.
That's it.
Done in under an hour and 20 minutes.
She put the pressure on and then Osaka crumbled.
Yeah.
So, well done, Corey Goff.
Yeah.
Very good result for her and puts her on the map now, really recognised as a top contender in women's tennis after beating, top 3 player. So, very good for her.
Well, it didn't last that long though, did it?
No, it didn't last long because in the next round, she comes up against my girl, Kenin.
I don't know whether we should just switch. What we're going to do, because it's so hard. We're finding it very difficult to sort of keep up to date with all the rounds because they're just going so quick.
Thick and fast, isn't it?
It's just non-stop tennis. And by the time we talk about one round, they're already through that round on to the next round. So we're going to just try and do, today we're going to do the round of 16 and quarterfinals. Or is it one before? No, not the one.
32
and 16. And then we're going to do quarterfinals and semis, and then maybe we'll do a special for the final.
That's it.
Because I think the final is going to be pretty epic.
Yeah, once Djokovic wins it.
Djokovic, Nadal finishes him off.
Djokovic beats him 3 sets to love. No, that wouldn't be.
What about Kyrgios? I thought you said Kyrgios was going to win.
We'll get to that. But yeah, some other big news on the tennis scene. That epic match between Federer and the hometown faithful, John Millman.
John Millman, yeah.
Wow, what an epic
went all the way to the end, didn't it?
Wow.
Literally to the death.
Never saw that coming, did we?
And what is the most... I don't want to, like, jump straight to the end, but I'm going to do it anyway because it was so spectacular.
What's that?
8-4
Yeah,
down.
in the final tie-break.
Federer's losing 8-4. He got 6 successive points to take the super break or whatever it is.
Super tie-break, yeah.
10-8.
You've got to feel sorry a bit for Millman, really, because if that was a normal tie-break...
A normal scenario, he was already in the shower, mate. He was already having a shower, having a little massage.
That's biggest game of his life.
Yeah.
And played the game of his life.
In Australia as well.
An incredible performance by the mailman. But I think we learned one thing here.
The GOAT comes back.
The mailman doesn't always deliver, but FedEx always does. So
that was good.
That's what we learned from
that's
that.
That's his best one he's ever had. I need to up my game.
That's it, mate. That's it.
I'll think of a few for next week.
I'm jotting them down, mate. I'm jotting them down. But yeah, well done to Fed for getting through that.
The GOAT managed to pull it off.
And then he came up against our man Martin in the next round, who's absolutely stonked Tommy Paul, who we were bigging up on the last pod. So
yeah, we were bigging him up to a level, but we know that we're realistic.
Yeah,
we're bigging him up to a level like where he's come from, where he's never been in that sort of environment to be competing how he is.
Well, beat Dimitrov,
mate. He's had an amazing tournament. He's only going to skyrocket now in the rankings.
That's it.
And for him, I think he can't even be too upset about it. He's literally he probably left with a smile on his face. He didn't see like the actual end of it, like the handshake and everything. But I'm sure he wouldn't have been. He was a bit sad, sure, but
and plus
couldn't have been too down.
He met Martin in probably his best ever form that you've ever seen him.
I thought he was going to say he met Martin in general.
Yeah, and he met Martin, which is probably high on his list of achievements.
Fun fact: they actually met in 2016 on a clay court, and Tommy Paul beat him 2-1.
Oh,
yeah, go on.
Thanks for that.
I've got plenty.
Got plenty of these old stats.
I've got to get up with a FedEx one now.
That's it, mate. That's it. But another person. Well, we saw Martin. He obviously took out Tommy Paul, but then he came up against Fed.
Yep.
Gave it his all. Amazing performance. The first set, Martin looked untouchable.
Yeah, he took the first set, didn't he?
I think Fed's a little bit of a slow starter these days, though.
Might be his age.
A lot of people take the first set off him. I saw Lloyd Harris at Wimbledon took the first set off him. But then class came through. We just completely decimated him in the final 3 sets, didn't he? It wasn't even a contest.
I think it was one of them. It was a 6-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was sad to see. It was
no bagels, but...
No, but still... It was a little bit just the Fed, like the show started, didn't it?
Yeah.
So
just warming up, just getting his joints warm. That's all he needed.
Put Martin on the map for a lot of people though, so well done to him. Fuchsovic.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man.
That's it. Oh, a set from Federer is like no mean feat, so well done to you. If we have a look at another person who's been creeping through and probably not on many people's radar, the return of Raonic.
Ooh. Very, very
You
interesting
probably
topic.
hate this big server.
No. Raonic. I'll tell you a little story about Raonic. I've always liked him. Do you know why? I think this is very vain. What I'm going to say. Growing up, he was like the first person for me to like start wearing New Balance. So he was a sponsor from New Balance, and when I was like younger watching it, I used to just look at the logo and I was like, "Oh, that's such a cool logo." I really like. Look, it's quite nice. It's the first time I ever saw the brand. So I started buying loads of New Balance stuff. And that's from Raonic.
Raonic fan.
So because of that, like I was always like, I don't know. I liked him. Like he seemed like quite nice. But as I've progressed with my tennis knowledge, he's still that same style of play with a big serve. He does have a bit more to his game though. He's a really good player, but his 2019 was not very good. He had quite a bad year.
I think he was injured though.
He had a lot of injuries. Wasn't very consistent when he was playing. And I think the back end of 2019, he won. It was basically he lost more or less every game. Yeah, he won the odd one here and there, but it was really like he went into the Australian Open on pretty abysmal form.
I think that's what makes this tournament that much more impressive. Though.
Yeah. So then he started this tournament, and he's not dropped a set.
Look who he's been beating as well. He's not beating any mugs, is he? He's beaten Tsitsipas in straight sets.
Saying again, no mugs.
No mugs. Yeah. Tsitsipas, no mugs.
Wow.
The person that you probably would tip to maybe come
Superstar.
on and possibly beat Djokovic, people like that. Yeah. He has beaten them.
Well, he's got a good record against Djokovic here.
Exactly. And then he just wiped the floor with him, straight sets. And then in the next round, Cilic
bang.
Silly. Bang, and then he's out.
Bang, and then Raonic serve come down.
That's it.
So, yeah, no, it was not.
Is it going to be bang in the next round because he's up against Djokovic, though?
Oh,
my selection for the tournament, I'm not so confident.
Come on,
now.
he can't do Djokovic. Djokovic is not human.
I know, it's true, but still, if he's playing and he's not even dropped set, he's probably pretty fresh.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think he's had, like you say, it's important. When you get into this sort of stage now of the slam, it's not necessarily always the best player. Like, it's people, depending on what run they've had to get to the stage they're at. If you've played less games, obviously, it's going to have a positive impact into your next match. And sometimes in tennis, as you know, we both play the odd bit of tennis here and there.
Yep.
As you know, it's fine margins. And the smallest of little things, a bit of piece of luck or a bit of pressure, maybe you can hit a serve maybe a few miles an hour more, can be the real difference in terms of progression to the next round.
See, most of these players, when they get to the fourth sets, that's when it really starts to kick in.
That's the real test.
Yeah, like if they can't get it done in 3 or in the fourth set, then you see them slow down noticeably. I think these people have had the 5-set matches.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it depends though, because if you're Nadal, I don't think that actually has an influence.
I think he's always relied on his fitness, and plus he's doing some dodgy slowing down of the in between points.
You're just a hater. No, you and Tom are a hater.
We all know that there's some slowing down going on there. Like, he's given himself the extra time to recover. People have noticed it, but you can't help but love Nadal. But that's why they brought in this
stop clock
to stop him doing it. That was mainly because of him. But other than Raonic going through, Djokovic been just...
No, I'm glad we gave Raonic some time. I think he deserves it.
He definitely does.
He's been like a lost man. Like, he's not really been... I don't know, he's just kind of been ignored. Like, he was such I remember in Wimbledon a few times, he was I don't think he reached a final against Murray once, or semi-final. He's always there later end of Grand Slams.
That's it.
But we don't seem to talk about him much. But I think it's because, basically, to be honest, it's just us being a bit short-minded in terms of the fact that we've been looking at the last 6-7 months. He's not really been in the picture.
Yeah, but he's got the ability. So.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I think...
And he wears New Balance. So.
Wow. Another...
don't know if he still does.
Promotion for that brand there.
Have to beat me out there.
You're sponsored by them.
And if New Balance are watching, you want to promote the video?
Fancy giving Jaron a new jumper or something? But, I think it'd be an interesting match, that one. Raonic, Djokovic. As I said about Djokovic, after Struff took that set off him, hasn't dropped a set since. So, and he, decimated Nishioka, decimated Schwartzman, who's one of your favourites.
Yeah, Schwartzman, yeah.
Straight sets, pretty easy, cruise through.
Yeah, I just think Raonic, I don't think he's going to be a massive test for Djokovic. I'd love to say he does.
Right. The big servers are always a big test.
It's always a scare, isn't it? But Djokovic is the best returner in the game.
Yeah. That's
like,
where
he counteracts the fact that he's a server. So it's like
he's the most flexible person, so he can always just. It seems like he can bend his body in just like crazy ways, sliding all over, even on hard court. So
it'd be good to see. I'll be watching the match for sure.
Oh, for sure. I think that's going to be one of the most interesting to see.
Until Djokovic goes 2-0 up, then I'll just switch it off.
You never know, though. You never know. That's why tennis, the Grand Slams are interesting.
Talking of tennis, how's he getting on?
Another one. Well, another incredible. I watched Tennis Sangren, his last performance against Fabio Fognini. Wow.
Exceptional.
It's got some.
No, you're skipping one. Let's talk the one before.
What?
Sam Querrey.
Well, Sam Querrey, big server. I always wary about backing people against big servers, and Querrey's no mug again in a Grand Slam. Yeah,
he's no mug, is he?
He's definitely not. In a Grand Slam, he can take out some big hitters.
Well, he seemed a bit of a mug the other day, mate, against Tennis Sangren.
Well, he just blitzed him, didn't he? 6-4, 6-4, 6-4.
And the remarkable story about tennis is the fact that he's been through a lot of hardship in his life. Like, recently, he's been through a lot of surgery. He wasn't sure if his body was able to compete at that level again. And he's always sort of been on the peripheral things, really. He had quite a good Wimbledon. I remember he progressed quite far. He had a few good victories there, notably one against Thomas Fabiano. I remember watching that one. It was a really good match, and Fabiano was in scintillating form at the time.
Did he
He was
face
winning a lot of games.
Fognini
I think he did.
or I can't remember if he faced him at Wimbledon as well.
I think he got knocked out by him though.
He beat Fabio 3-0 in Wimbledon in straight sets.
Oh wow.
So that's why, I mean, going into that, he's ranked 100 in the world though, which is crazy.
Wait, I remember the story about tennis. Do you remember when we was queuing up in Wimbledon in the line?
Yeah.
And I had my little number.
I know.
For the queue number, so it was like queue whatever. It was like 500 and something 560 or whatever.
I think it was less than that, but it was 2 numbers.
It was two numbers. So there was 2 numbers. So what I did is I looked at both of the numbers.
I think it was like 23 and 78 or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the numbers were. I looked at the 2 numbers and looked at the rankings in the ATP rankings, and 78 was tennis, Sangram, and 23 was Schwartzman, both of which were playing on that day.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I'll just put a double on both of them.
And
but tennis was at like 3. Like, he was not favourite, he was underdog. He was playing
Oh.
someone really good. So I was thinking, I'm not sure about that. Even and Schwartzman was playing Koepfer.
Yeah.
So I was a bit unsure because I thought I fancied Koepfer. I don't know why I did, because he was doing really good form in grass. And Schwartzman destroyed him, and tennis ended up destroying the other guy.
Yeah.
So it was a nice little double, that. But yeah.
It's a shame you didn't bet on it.
Yeah, I didn't actually gamble on it because I thought I don't fancy that.
This goes to show.
But next year, I'm going to get my same numbers again, and hopefully this time it'll be the same again. And I'll actually back it.
Hopefully you'll be first in the queue. You can have Djokovic. Well, focusing on, he knocked out Querrey, and then I watched the game against Fognini, who looked, amazing in his previous match, and blew him out of the water. I was shocked that, Fognini's racket, head speed, everything like that, he matched it, and he
gave a bit more as well. He gave a bit of zip.
You see the guns on him. He's giving Nadal a run for his money, isn't he? I think
he's in good shape.
He's got the vest on.
He's in good shape. He's
got that. I think he's going to. He keeps working out like that.
Talking about flexibility, though, he's flexible as hell. I saw him moving around the court, and he moves
quite
very
stocky,
well.
though, for a tennis player. It's a bit strange to see it, but he moves well. Interesting to see, and he's up against Roger Federer next round. Now, I think, why not take a punt? Roger's a slow starter these days. I'll keep writing him off, and he keeps going through. But
now, the bet for that would be
tennis to win a set, I think.
Tennis to win the first set. Better odds, mate.
Yeah, I could see it happening as well. Roger seems to only get going after a set these days. So
yeah,
I think that's a wise one. And your girl, the Barty Party, only just still going after that. She had a bit of a scare against
Stop
Alison.
saying all these. Don't start with a
Alison
negative
Risk,
tone.
mate. It was a bit of a
Don't start with a negative tone, saying she's barely going. She's through. She's in the hat to the next round, and she's gonna have her limbs in the air, mate, with a trophy.
Alison Risk, mate. 6-1. She lost the second
Barty's
set.
Got it. Barty's
resilient. Well, she was 4-1.
What did I say about playing to the crowd? It's in Australia. She wanted just a bit more excitement.
4-1 up in that third set, and she got pulled back to 4-4. I was like, is she going out? But then there she comes through strong at the finish.
Yeah, no, I really like Barty. Really good player.
She's got a massive fan base there in Australia. So well done to her.
The only problem I've got now is her next round.
Well, who's she up against next?
Kvitova.
That's a toughie, but she's beaten her the last 2 times she's played
Yeah,
her, so.
but Kvitova's she's been there, done that. She's played. She's very experienced.
Is she a mug or is
she She's no mug. She's no mug. But no, Barty's still my tip to win. I'm still very confident in her. I'm very impressed so far what I've seen. So let's just hope the Barty party keeps going on.
That's it. There's one player who's sort of sneaking through in those women's tennis draw. Is this Ons Jabeur?
Ons
Jabeur. I had a go at Contour a couple of pods ago for going out straight sets, but she seems to be destroying everybody straight sets. So fair play. Yeah. Ons Jabeur looks like the dark horse of the women's draw at the moment.
Really good player, yeah.
Yeah, very good. And she's up against. She's
winning quite comfortably as well.
She's up against my girl next, Sophia Kenin. A bit worried about that one.
Yeah, I think Kenin will take her.
I think she's got the ability for sure, but I'm worried.
But the thing is with Kenin, one thing that we've not really noticed is she's not that experienced in terms of. I think this is the furthest she's ever been in the slam.
That's it.
It's all a kind of new thing. Don't get me wrong; it's the first fight on Jabeur as well, so that shouldn't really play too much of an impact. But it might be the quality of tennis may not be as good as we anticipate it to be. I feel like sometimes when you get two people who are not really so used to the occasion, you get more nervy, sort of reserved tennis, and through doing that, you're not so relaxed, so you make more mistakes.
Well, I think Kenin, all the pressure's on her. I think that Ons Jabeur, she wasn't expected to get this far. Kenin
wasn't really expected to.
I think now, though.
I think she is now because she's been playing so well in America.
We'll see all the people who have dropped out already. And Serena out the draw, Osaka out the draw. She's probably now expected to be one of the front runners now.
Yeah. On hard, Kenin's really good. So it's her surface. Like this time of year is built for Kenin.
There's not many left. It's quarterfinals, and one more win, you're right there. Yeah. You're in touching distance.
No, it was a good pick. A lot of respect there, Ben, for picking her out. It was a good one.
Better than your outside. But she went out first round.
No, she just went out.
Oh,
this round.
Oh, okay.
Give her some respect. She went through 2 rounds, I think.
Svitolina, wasn't it?
Yeah, Alina.
Alina Svitolina. She went out to Muguruza, she's playing really well.
She's a good player.
Yeah, Muguruza.
I think she won the next one as well, didn't she?
She's into... She beat her, then she took out... go forward a couple of days. Kiki Burtons.
Yeah, so she's... Muguruza's looking good.
She's not dropping sets
In fact, don't write her off, mate. She could be there right to the end.
She's up against Pavlyuchenkova in the next round.
That was a nervy match for her.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
5-2 up today in the first set. Got pegged back by she played Kerber, right? And she lost the first set 7-6. In the tiebreak, she was also up 4-2. So she had all these leads the first set, got broken back, and ended up losing the first set.
Yeah.
And then you was thinking, oh wow, she's actually going to bottle this. Kerber's going to take it, and then I think she just fought back and must have come through. It's
impressive though. Kerber's
shows a lot of fight. Yeah, she was world number 1 for a bit. Kerber.
Yeah. She's very good in the slams as well normally. But moving on from them, someone that we haven't spoken about, but I'm not sure if it's an upset or not. You tell us. Stan Wawrinka knocks out Daniil Medvedev.
It is an upset. It is an upset.
I was a bit shocked, but a bit not.
Yeah, and same with me. I kind of I don't want to say I saw it coming, but I remember looking at it and I was thinking, you know what, these odds for this just seems a bit short. Yeah. Everyone's sort of assuming Medvedev's going to get through it.
They write Stan off all the time.
You can't, Stan gets written off a lot. And it's in the Australia, they played each other in the US Open a few months back. And it was a very even affair in terms of before the match, no one would really call it. There's both evenly sort of where the book is.
Yeah.
And Medvedev come through that one and won 3-1. Wow. But it was quite tight, to be honest. A 3-1 did flatter him. I watched the match. It was really good. Medvedev did play really well. But it just seems this time he was just a bit missing.
Let's not forget, Stan's 3-time Grand Slam champion.
He's been there, experienced, and he can play on. He's really good on the hard as well.
To write him
he's very good on all surfaces.
At your own peril, really.
He's one of the most all-rounded players there is, and he's got a backhand which is so strong.
It's crazy.
One of the most strongest backhands I've seen.
He always used to bug me every time I used to watch him, just because I knew if you were rooting for the other guy and he used to come up against Stan, I wouldn't really want Stan to win, but you know that backhand, and you just see him one after the next, after the next, after the next. And if it's going, it's going. There's no stopping Stan on that backhand, mate.
Stan the man. Could we see him go all the way?
Could. Well, don't rule him out.
Don't rule him out. That's what I would say. But it's the same for Medvedev. Funny little stat, actually. Another one. Medvedev.
JG stats.
We should have my own little segment of just stats.
JG.
Medvedev's never won a fifth set.
Oof, that's not good for him. Not in a slam. That's never good when you're playing slams.
Yeah, but it just means he gets it done in 3 usually, or 4.
Yeah, and if it doesn't...
He's won a lot of games, but if he doesn't...
What's his mindset? What's his mindset going into those fifth sets then? He's like, oh, God, here we go again.
It's over now.
Might as well just throw in the towel. Retire.
You didn't know that, though, did you?
No, I didn't know
never
that.
won a fifth set.
Well, come on, Daniil. Yeah, someone that we haven't even spoken about. All we've spoken about was once his haircut.
Dominic Thiem.
No one's even spoken about it.
No,
he's cruising through.
Yeah, no, because he's that level. He's a bit above Tsitsipas. He's in that same little bracket of Medvedev.
He's top 5.
Yeah, top 5 easily. Yeah.
And no one's even speaking about him.
He's the 4th best player in the world.
He just destroyed Monfils in straight sets.
But it's not like the reason why is because he's kind of been expected to he's going about his work like quite quietly, just getting the job done, winning.
He doesn't have that persona which is drawing a lot of attention to himself. Like,
does in Austria.
Yeah, in Austria, but I think in the slams he just is quite quietly just making his way through the draw, and then you'll see him come up against one of the big hitters like Djokovic, and I think he's got next round. Well, it's sort of spoiling who we've got. The match we're just about to review, but he's going to be playing Nadal in the next round.
I think we should let's get on to it.
Let's get
on
to it.
That's what everybody.
We want to speak about. Let's speak about Kyrgios Nadal, the match everybody wanted to see. Australia versus Spain.
Wow.
Kyrgios with probably the best.
Two of our probably most favourite players.
His record against Nadal is probably one of the best against Nadal out of everybody in tennis. So
funny enough, while this game was going on, there was also Zverev and Rublev going on.
Yeah. Empty
stadium. Seats all over.
Really?
Wasn't full up.
Oh my God, that's
and they're two they're not they're big players.
Probably because we keep on slagging off Rublev, mate. They're probably listening to you.
What's our episodes?
Yeah. No, they're probably all crowding around a screen trying to watch that Kyrgios match.
Everyone wants to watch Kyrgios Nadal, and mate, what a match it lived up to be.
Wow, incredible.
It could have even gone further than what it did. So do you want to start us off?
Yeah, well, I think started off a little bit slow. Well, Nadal just came out of the blocks firing like he always does. Took that first.
When you say slow, you mean Kyrgios started slow. Nadal come out the blocks like he was a man possessed.
Yeah, he just was hitting everything, pushing him around the court. I don't think Kyrgios really knew where he was. That's still that 5 set from the last round where he beat Karen Khachanov, which was another incredible match. Yeah, that had caught up with him, it looked like, in the first set.
It seemed to me like Kyrgios was playing it a bit safe, if anything, which is not really like him.
Can't do that against Nadal.
The bit what I was seeing was, I didn't see loads of it because I was actually at work, but the bits I did see was it was Kyrgios, and it was just playing very passive sort of shots. And I feel like when he's not really like hitting over the ball or trying like different drop shots or trying different things, he can be a bit like, I don't know, he just gave Nadal too much of an opportunity to just start doing that whip, what he does, where he literally puts so much topspin on the ball that you see the ball literally like 2 meters from one side of the court.
Well, he wasn't hitting he was hitting like the service line, he wasn't hitting the baseline with his shots.
Yeah, it was very passive.
Nadal was stepping in
every time. And just
he barely missed a volley the whole match. Nadal,
I agree.
It's just incredible.
Like that, And then moving on, second set,
the resurgence managed to get the break. Nadal was forehand started going a bit off for 1 or 2 games, and that was enough.
That's all he needed,
And Kyrgios, his serving was on point. I think they were throwing out some big stats there, that Kyrgios has as good a first serve percentage as Isner and Opelka.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's up there with the big servers with that. But
we don't really talk about him as a big server, but his serving is actually one of the best in tennis in terms of the most consistent.
They said that the thing that's different about him and those big boys, the big boys, the 6'10"ers,
big boys.
Let's call them that. Yeah, Big John and Big Riley,
Big Steve.
Yeah, not Big Steve. But yeah, the difference between that is his break point conversion is just that much higher. He can convert.
Yeah, it's because he can. Like, no offense to the other players, but he can play tennis.
That's it, and we witnessed it in the second set and the third set, that tie break. They got to the tie break, and he lost his mind a little bit in the third set tie break. He smashed his racket up at 3-1 down. I don't know whether he was doing it just to get him Nadal's head, just to break up the play, slow it down, or whether he tried to do an underarm serve.
It's not really much of a shock though, is it? He was always going to think. One fitting thing, just rewind all of this, because before it was too late, it was a nice little touch of him to come out in the jersey. The Kobe jersey.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of people in the crowd, wearing that jersey. Very sad news.
Oh, it's tragic.
Kobe Bryant. Yeah, thoughts go out to his wife and his whole family. Really.
Yeah, it's tragic. Really is tragic.
Sad news.
And I think it was quite nice of Kyrgios to come out in that.
Yeah.
There's not really much more to say about it. It's just really sad news.
Just super sad news. Yeah.
Sorry to bring the mood down.
That's all right. But the third set tie break, he had 5-all. Nick Kyrgios goes for a tries a second serve ace at 5-all in the tiebreak. What? And
Oh,
then
yeah, he
double faults it.
He hit it
And
144 kilometres an hour.
I think it was more than
Was it?
a mile an hour, probably.
Oh, yeah, it was 144.
I think it was like 210 kilometres an hour.
144 miles. Yeah, but I don't know. It was ridiculous speed.
For a second,
smashed one down.
and then that was a double fault. Then, by luck of it, Nadal hits a double fault the next serve on set point, but then Nadal just got back in the zone. Yeah. That was a pivotal point. If he had just won that point, you never know. He could have just got set point, won that, and then you're one set away.
Mate, let's be honest. There was not really much between them.
There wasn't. And in the fourth set, he managed to break back and get him to another tie break. Yeah. But Nadal...
a bit more luck in his favour, a bit more consistency in some of the shots. I think Kyrgios could have taken it. He started... He's got amazing drop shots, but he started overdoing it a bit towards the end, and he made some really pathetic sort of attempts of some.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you can sort of eradicate that sort of the indecision in your game, he can prove that he can literally compete with anyone.
His creativity is probably the best on tour.
No, there's no one more creative.
Saw some crazy. He looked like he was going to go for a drop shot, and then he slices it to the baseline. Nadal's just about to run in, and then he has to backstep, and it puts him all like out of whack. Yeah, and he just ends up whacking it out.
Incredible player. It's a shame to see him go out, especially in the Australian Open, being he's from Australia and all. But I'm just happy Nadal. So.
Everyone should be proud of the performance, though.
Yeah, it was a spectacle. No wonder everyone was there trying to queue to watch that game. It makes sense, doesn't it? When you see gate matches like that, it's like that's why.
Just proves how good Rafa is.
Yeah.
Just one of the best of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And he just proved it again. He's got
20,000
people cheering for the other guy, and not even that many. I heard quite a lot of people cheering for Rafa, with Aussie voices. So that was a bit of a shock to me. Australian fans maybe a bit divided on Kyrgios.
He divides.
Yeah.
I remember the commentator actually said something before the match. It was quite cool. He literally said, Kyrgios, the guy who divides, and Nadal, who brings people together.
True.
And I was thinking, you couldn't really be too. That's the perfect analogy for the whole situation. Really.
That's it. Yeah, I agree.
One divides and one brings something together.
That's it.
So
I agree. Well done, Rafa. And you're up against Dominic Thiem in the next round.
Clay court specialist, them two.
That's it. And then we got Wawrinka Zverev next round. That's a very interesting match.
Yeah. It's going to be a really good one. I kind of want Wawrinka to win.
I think he will pose more questions to the big guns, but I don't know. Zverev hasn't lost a set the whole tournament yet.
Yeah. Zverev is playing well.
Might be his time. Maybe now he's stepping up finally.
Nah, but I don't think with Zverev. I don't think he can really compete with a big. I've seen him. He won the ATP. What's it? The one at the O2.
Yeah.
He won that 2 years ago.
I know, and since then,
he's not really reached that level. But he beat like Djokovic.
His ability.
Federer. He's able to beat them all. But I just don't think in a slam. I just think he could go a bit amiss. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it.
Maybe he'll prove you wrong.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
But yeah, that's our roundup of the past couple of rounds. Stay tuned. We'll have another pod coming soon. Just
this week.
Just for the quarters and maybe the semi-final as well. So
can't wait.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you then. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. So we're out of time, unfortunately.
Oh gosh, we had so much more to say, but I think that'll be it for episode 5.
That's it, and we'll have an L of the week at the end of the week.
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll do that for the end of the week. So thank you for listening.
Thanks for watching.
See you next week.